Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Tuesday, March 11th. I am Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister here at Sunshine Cathedral and Auxiliary Bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current President of the Divine Science Federation. With me today is the Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell and the Reverend Kevin Tisdall, both of whom minister with me at Sunshine Cathedral. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be part of it no matter where you live in the world. Watch our streaming programs, ask for prayer, make donations, and also follow us on social media. We'd love to have you as part of the Sunshine Cathedral community, regardless of your location. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We will produce the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th, Pride Fest Diversity Pride in August, and now the near 50th anniversary of Pride Fort Lauderdale in February. We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. The Queer God Squad is unique in that we apply critical thought to religion while still embracing what is good about religion, and all in support of the LGBTQIAA+ community. If you enjoyed the Queer God Squad, help us reach more people by sharing this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities. This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Military absolute trans ban, a purge unfolds. In keeping with Donald Trump's January 27th executive order, the Pentagon recently released a policy that is a complete ban on transgender military service, forcing out current service members and banning transgender people from enlisting. The scope and severity of the ban are unprecedented. This is a complete purge of all transgender individuals from military service. Organizations such as GLBTQ Advocates and Defenders are challenging this ban for the thousands of transgender service members and enlistees who meet and exceed the same rigorous standards as others for the military and who put their lives on the line to serve their country. It should also be noted that the Commander-in-Chief, whose orders have facilitated this tragedy, sought ways to avoid service during the time of conscription. Someone who chose not to serve is now disallowing patriots who are eager to serve from doing so. And we at the Queer God Squad are not amused. When I was in high school, senior year, I thought, well, one of the ways that I could help me get through college or whatever is to join the Navy Reserves. I wanted to join the reserves. I knew that would take up some summer time, and if anything happened, I'd be called up or whatever. But in the meantime, you know, I'd have some extra support for college. And then if I loved it, I had a career ahead of me. So I go to the office to enlist, and this very handsome, just stunningly beautiful recruitment officer, like one of the first questions is, "Are you homosexual?" And I'm like, "No."
And he said, "Girl."
And I take the ABS-VAB test, and I did great. And they know what they want me to do already. I'll be, they'll put me in communications. Okay, they're smart. They know who goes where. That would have been great for me. I couldn't pass the physical. I have spinal birth defects. And so I was so disappointed. So I go to college anyway. And my freshman year, I figure it all out. I come out with a vengeance. And I am just Miss Thing on campus. And then about a year later, from the first time I visited, I get a call from him. And he says, "You know what? I figured it out," because his recruitment was low. He's like, I think I can work around it. We'll sign this and that, and you'll say this and that, blah blah. And I'm like, "Oh, girl, no, that ship has sailed. You should have struck while the iron was hot, because now I can't say no to that question. See, and I wouldn't lie, and I only kind of was lying then because I was still denying. I was still trying not to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, now I couldn't do that, so I'm like, "No, I can't. Sorry about you." So that was my experience. But see, this was another where LGBTQ people wanting to. My family, I had a service family. My dad who had been in ROTC. My grandfather was in World War II. My great uncle was a hero at Pearl Harbor. Another great uncle was drafted, so his brother enlisted, so they'd be in it together. And then the brother who enlisted retired from the Air Force Reserve as a major.
Wow.
Like this is, so I'm like, I was embarrassed that they wouldn't have me. You know what I mean? And then later I was fine. It was fine. But so yeah, people want to do that. And that you're like, no, I know you're smart and you're fit and you're eager, but screw that. You're not, you're not our sort of person or whatever. So they're losing out, but they seem to have gotten over that and letting people serve. And now this complete reversal for trans people.
Yeah.
You know what? I am 58 years old with back problems and blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't want to face a 20-year-old Marine, no matter their gender, identity, or history. You know what I mean? Like, are you serious right now? So it's nothing but dehumanizing people. Yep. It's nothing other than just trying to demonize and erase people. And cruelty is the point. Yeah. The point isn't to make the military better, because if you wanted it better, you'd want people eager to serve, who can pass all the training, pass all the tests, and are on the front line for you. And what makes me furious is that people are still willing and eager to defend a country that will not defend them, and that the person who is leading this horrific purge himself faked an injury to not serve, but he is single-handedly not allowing people eager and qualified to serve to do so. This is one of the most embarrassing and shameful moments in American history. Now, I know there was slavery and not letting women vote. I mean, there's a few horrible moments, but this is one of them.
Yeah, this is absolutely just targeting people in the LGBTQ community, but particularly the trans community. And I just find it, and I'm going to use the word, deplorable.
It is deplorable.
Deplorable.
The Secretary of State was right all those years ago.
Imagine that.
Basket full of deplorables. Right. And
I find it deplorable that, I'm going to say, Mr. Bone Spurs would does not want people of trans identity serving our country. These are people that have dedicated their lives to protecting our country, to protecting us, protecting our rights. And to say that they are not qualified to serve, I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous. It makes absolutely no sense. He is targeting. It's just targeting, plain and simple.
And it's not going to stop there. They want to take women out of combat positions.
Yeah.
The whole bit.
Yeah, go ahead, see what happens.
Wow. I am not generally a conspiracy theorist. I am becoming one slowly because it didn't just start with our trans
Just because
family.
you're paranoid does not mean they're not out to get you.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite sayings. Before he became Secretary of Defense, Mr. Mann said about a 4-star general. Before diversity, equality, and inclusion was a word, or were words, woke was the word. And he said that we have got to get rid of all of these people who got into position because of our woke society. So now he becomes
The
secretary.
implication being?
It's color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In most cases, it was color. And you know
You
what?
have a law degree and you have a law degree and you're white and you're not.
And
then obviously the not one got some sort of privilege or whatever. Meanwhile, this is a Cuban person saying this.
Yeah.
4 stars. You don't get 4 stars by just being
Doing
a fool.
nothing. Yep.
4-star active service replaced by a 3-star retired.
Retired.
So what
that's
are
unprecedented.
we doing? What are we saying? We're saying that we want America and the Army and the Navy, the Air Force and the Space Force and the Coast Guard to look more cis, more white,
Yeah.
more relatable to by a shrinking population. So this is not,
1980s South Africa.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. Again, I've talked about it at this table before. It seems as though the administration wants to start with what they perceive to be the weakest link in our society. So that means that they go after our trans family, expecting that there's not going to be any pushback. Well, they're going to get pushback. Reverend Dr. Ann said we're going to act up. Yes, we are going to act up because we know that it's not going to end with our trans family. They're going to come after the LGBTQ family. They've already started coming after the woke family. Again, when you can get rid of a 4-star general and replace them with something less.
Well, you can tell history teachers they can't teach history.
When you can tell colleges, which is what I understand a executive order saying, when you can tell colleges the student can't protest, and if they do, we take away their financing, we take away their housing, and then we throw them out. So again, this is just the beginning of an attempt to destroy
and I've never heard of
America.
the U.S. government having that level of control of local universities.
Exactly.
I don't know that
that the government can expel someone at a community college. I didn't know that worked that way.
Well, he thinks that every place in America is like the Republican Party.
Yeah.
He thinks that because he has been able to shut down the Republican Party, because what are the Republicans doing? Well, you know, he's starting to get things done, and it's not going to be that bad. He's destroying America, and his party that's in control of the White House, in control of Congress, and in control of the courts. He's going to get what he wants unless people like us continue to open our mouths and say, this is not going to happen.
That's right.
We're not going to let it happen. We're going to act up, and we're going to do it nonviolently.
They are very intimidated by strong women. They're intimidated by LGBTQ people. They're intimidated by people of color. They're intimidated by trans people. Anything that upsets the 1950s, white male dominance model. Now, this golden age that they want to go back to, that was also the age where the super rich, and we didn't have any billionaires, so just multimillionaires at that time, where the super rich paid up to 91% in taxes. That's when we got interstates. That's when one guy could support his wife and 2 or 3 kids, and they still have a comfortable life. That's when that happened. So they want to go back to the racism of the 50s without going back to the economics of the 50s.
I like that.
And so they want the worst of everything. That's what they want. They want the worst of everything. And if we don't, and the time to have prevented that was the last 10 elections. But the second best time is now. We've got to resist. And we've been telling y'all, like, everybody said, well, I didn't know. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
Of course you did.
You did. And you were mad when people told you. You were mad when someone said, oh, deplorables. We used to have someone at this church. Well, I'm one of those deplorables. Well, I'm glad you're proud of that. But now we're all suffering because of some of the choices a lot of people make. So it's, but it made me sick recently. I forget now if it was a week or two, whatever it was, when the president, the very brave president of Ukraine, walked into an ambush in the Oval Office. And this man, who has, as president, been on the field with his troops, who as president, I think it's weekly, meets like with tea or lunch or something with people on the front. This person who will not wear fancy clothes, will not wear a suit as long as the war is over. That this person who was elected with 72% of the vote, this person who the reason when his term was up there wasn't another election is because his parliament said, not him, his parliament said, we don't want a major disruption right now. We got to win this. And then bye-bye, see you.
Right.
But as long as you're doing a good job leading us through this, we need consistency. That was his parliament. And now because of that, people have the nerve to call him a dictator. When he says, if they want me gone, I'll go today.
That will bring peace to my country.
And he could have done already. He could have he could have looted the treasury as dictators and kings and emperors have done throughout history. He could have looted the treasury and been living in Switzerland right this minute. No, he's there fighting. And so that this brave person walked into this ambush where they called him a dictator, where they said he hated Putin. Of course he hates Putin. I hate Putin. And Putin's not even in my country except for by proxy with them. But it was just this, they hate bravery. They hate courage. They hate integrity. And so, of course they hate people who fought to be who they are, the trans people, fought for recognition, fought for acceptance, fought for legal rights, and then, instead of just sitting on their laurels, then want to fight for their country that made them fight for that. And still, like, no hard feelings, I'll still defend you. They hate that. They hate that level of courage. They hate that level of integrity. And so, of course, they hate the Ukrainian president, who shows them up for this selfish, profiteering, tax dodging, draft dodging, felonious lot that they are.
How do you really feel? I'm wondering.
I'm trying to keep a lid on a little bit. Someone who faked bone spurs, I wish he had him right now, that had faked bone spurs to get out of serving his country, who has cheated on every spouse he ever had, who paid hush money to someone who is mad at Zelensky because back in 2016, he wouldn't lie about Hillary Clinton. He wanted him to lie about his opponent to help him win.
Right.
He wouldn't, and so now this is revenge. This one who's 34 convicted felonies, who's an adjudicated rapist, who never would show his tax returns because they are BS. This person who has lived on sketchy loans, but he's supposed to be a grillionaire. There is nothing legitimate. He's never paid his bill. This business genius who has gone bankrupt 6 times, that this complete piece of scum says mean things about Zelensky, refuses to let our trans heroes get the acknowledgement. They just want to be a private or corporal,
Right.
an airman, a petty officer in the military. Like, they're not asking for fame or fortune. They're asking for the privilege of risking their lives. Meanwhile, this MF gasses his people and heads for a bunker because they might come at him with their signs. I mean, there's not a worse person alive than this piece of sludge. And, made in the divine image, but so of course they hate trans heroes, and they hate Zelensky, and they hate queer people, and they hate strong women. They hate anything that's about truth or justice or courage or integrity or kindness or compassion or equity. And that's fine. You get to be the Legion of Doom. You get to be Darth Vader and his minions. But that then they dare to call it Christian adds another layer of rage to my angst.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful travel experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida AIDS Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra-deluxe 170,000-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025. The cruise is for the Florida AIDS Walk. Your participation helps 13 vital beneficiaries in our community. The cruise is an incredible value starting at just $199 and is also a fundraiser for the Sunshine Cathedral. Parties, special events, and more aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun. This vital cruise for good.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that. We all are in this together.
Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.
Bye.